Roma, my volunteer.
Good evening, Chair, and honorable members. Chair, on platform from the members, I have you and Ms. Mazon. I'm just trying to check the person that's logged on with iPhone. If we can then just get an indication of who that person is so that we can just know how many members we have currently.
Okay. So let's give that about 3 minutes to check members.
Definitely, Chair. Thanks. And the person who's using iPhone, just please identify him or herself. Oh, thanks. Thanks, and that this Thank you, Mr. Mtakane. This meeting, this session of the meeting is for members of ICASA the ICASA Council Subcommittee. I'll indicate to you when the meeting of MDDA Subcommittee starts.
No, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, the 3 minutes. Stangoma, when 3 minutes.
Yes, Chair, the 3 minutes is passed. We now have 4 members of the platform, and we should be good to go with the meeting. Only one apology that I've received from Ms. Matrosi. We know, as we all would be aware, with the current circumstances in KZN. Yeah, Chair. That's the only apology that I have. Otherwise, we have 4 members on the platform. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. We now correct and able to make a decision that can recommend to the committee. Maybe let me start by dispensing with the formalities for convening of this meeting. As I greet honorable members, members of civil society, members of the society, South Africans who are following us from platforms that have been made available this evening. We are meeting today as a subcommittee that focuses on the ICASA appointment process, which then would report to the committee in the National Assembly on Communications and Digital Technologies. So this is the meeting we have, and therefore this meeting is subjected to the rules of the National Assembly. Just as
Recording
a way
in
of
progress.
reminding each other of the rules on virtual platforms. Members are reminded that at all times to ensure that your video is switched off Your microphone is muted until you are recognized by the chairperson when you want to speak in that score. You will then proceed to unmute your mic and switch on your video camera. In situations where you are experiencing connectivity challenges, please do indicate for permission of the chair to switch off your video camera so as to maximize the bandwidth and therefore continue to make your point. For those that would be disconnected as a result of connectivity challenges, as you reconnect to the meeting, please ensure at all times that your video camera is off, your mic is muted, as mics are sensitive and therefore pick up background sounds that may distract the speaker and the meeting itself. Whilst point of orders are allowed in terms of the rules, members are advised that you would raise your hand using the gadget in a situation where the chair is unable to see your hand. The committee support will also assist in this regard. At that point, when you are recognized to make the point of order, you then proceed to unmute your mic, switch on a video camera, and proceed to raise the point of order on which the chairperson could rule upon in terms of the rules of the National Assembly. If we keep these honorable members in order, we would be able to have a quality meeting that adheres to the rules. Maybe the last point to make is really that we are also advised not to raise unnecessary point of orders to a point of collapsing the meeting on this platform. Having said that, honorable members, just for the purposes of record, we have been informed that we are correcting to make decisions that's important for record, but we also need to now formally record the apologies that may have been received. And I'm emphasizing the point that this first subcommittee meeting, it is that of ICASA appointment process. And the matters that relates to the next subcommittee on the MTDA process will then be attended to by members at that level. So if you are mistakenly logged in on the basis that you participate as a subcommittee member, but you are in the MTDA, you can be excused unless you are on the platform like any other person who ensures participation by the public and so on. That would be fine. So I just thought it's important we once again clarify that point. But for those that needed to attend to ICASA, that's the apologies we are now going to take committee support.
Thank you, Chair. I have an apology from Ms. Machos. She will not be able to attend the meeting scheduled for this evening due to the funeral arrangements currently happening in KZN. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Thank you, Mr. Ngloma. I take it that honorable members, those apologies are approved. Having agreed to the apologies and that our meeting corrects, like I indicated, this is a subcommittee that would look at the appointment process of ICASA. I will now allow the committee support as they fly the agenda. Like I said, that's one item we have to deal with and make recommendations on. That is, they do that, if we can at the same time get a brief from them on the process thus far, as well as the process beyond the subcommittee meeting before we actually deal with proposed names for shortlisting.
Good evening once again, Chairperson and members, and thank you very much. Chairperson, as you have rightly indicated, that this meeting is the meeting of the subcommittee on the ICASA Council. I'm not going to say much. The act is very clear. The council consists of 9 members, a chairperson and 8 councillors appointed by the minister upon approval by the National Assembly, which then this meeting, the meeting and it's outlined that members are aware of the acts. I know that. And then currently ICASA has 8 councillors. My apologies for that. 8 councillors. Yolisa Kedama, who's the acting trustee, Tabisa Fire, Dr. Khalil, Advocate Mr. Lady Mushi, Ms. Nombuko Nondombana, Ms. Ndombiza Sitole, and Mr. Peter Zemri. And Chairperson, on the 10th of May, we received
Chairperson Tembingozi has been logged out.
I'm not the host, but I see him there as a host.
I hope
it is the audio that disappeared.
All right. Thank you, Chairperson. I hope I'm audible now. Yes, Chair.
Okay, so you're back. Just that you are
Chair.
shown as muted.
All right, Chair. I hope I'm audible. I just noticed I have an unstable internet connection. As I was saying, Chairperson, this vacancy arose as a result of the resignation of Dr. Kiabeto. And in the letter, the minister requested that the committee initiate the use of the act. And of course, the committee advertised Chairperson and received 8 nominations. I'm really
Still frozen, Mr. Ngoma. Can you ask Mr. Ngoma seem to be muted? Yeah, your audio is gone again.
I hope I'm back. And as soon as I'm done with this presentation, I'm going to try and establish another connection. I really apologize for this. As I was indicating that the qualifications checks and the state security personnel suitability checks have been done on all candidates, and the results received in reasonable time. Chair, the purpose then of this meeting is for the subcommittee to shortlist. We've proposed 4 candidates. That's the number that we often work on when we have 1 vacancy. Those are to be interviewed for the vacancy in the ICASA Council. Thereafter, then the subcommittee is expected to the recommendation shortlisting of those 4 candidates will then be tabled to the committee, which then would be expected to consider the recommendation of the subcommittee and adopt a committee report recommending the shortlisting of the candidates. As you had rightfully put it, Chair, earlier, that this subcommittee reports to the committee, which is also scheduled to then meet later to adopt should the subcommittee shortlist candidates. So what will then happen if we agree on the candidates tonight? The names will be shortlisted. Names of the shortlisted candidates will be published in the ATC in all parliament for mainstream media for a period not exceeding to allow the members of the public to make comments on those shortlists. And Chair, was just to indicate that the participation will run concurrently with the actual interviews of the shortlisted candidates, so that the process, okay, Chair, that is not necessary for this process, because what we meant to say there was that the interviews were going to run concurrently with the processes of qualifications check and SSA personality suitability check that had been done, as I've indicated.
I think as Mr. Ngoma is trying to establish connectivity again, I think the main points would have been tabled. I'm checking that from the committee support. We do have content advisor, Dr. Mitupi, as one of the hosts. So we should be able to proceed. We now know from the report that the names have undergone security check or vetting process by the SSA, as well as them submitting their qualifications for verification. And we'll now not waste any other time as Mr. Ngoma reconnects. So would now try and get again the help of the committee services as we are to get to the next step. And I want to just briefly explain how we are going to proceed from here based on our experience. That we now have an opportunity to look at South Africans who would have applied, made themselves available to serve in the Council of ICASA, presented their qualifications, cleared in terms of security vetting, but the members would be expected to say amongst the best, who are we shortlisting for? It's already indicated that's the number we have used to look at the vacancy for people to be shortlisted and interviewed. As it usually happens, I'm trying to also help you, Honorable Matsone, on how we have approached things before. That we look at the skills, the qualifications, the demographics, but more importantly, what is needed in ICASA at this point as an institution to continue to work and do even better. So that's what we would do. For that to happen, we then get not each member to present his or her own list, but we ask that as committees composed of parties in a multi-party system, is to give yourselves to make presentations and motivations for the names as different parties, and that we look at those names, whether there's commonality, whether there would be differences, and based on that motivation, start from a point of persuading each other. So it's not just the issue of numbers, but it's for us to get the best people we can get, and where possible, to consensus. Not because the numbers are not important. The numbers have been cleared by the election results, and we all know where those numbers are. So the numbers are not the issue of discussion. And it's usually the last resort in terms of deadlock breaking mechanism that you get to that point. But so far, as the committee would have been in this journey of appointments, we've tried to ensure that we stick more from a point of persuasion than present and vote on numbers. So that's how, honorable members, I want to guide the process as we move forward. It's unless there is any question of clarity at this point, so that once we start, we do not go back. May I check if there's any clarity or we are clear about the process to be followed? So when I don't see a hand, reasonably, I assume that at least there's clarity in this regard. And I will start with the one that's ready to make a presentation to the committee. I see Honorable Mlala, your mic is unmuted. I take it that you're struggling to raise your hand and that you're indicating that you're ready to present. Correct.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. I think I'm ready to present, Chair, and sorry for the camera because my network is quite bad. I even struggled to get into the meeting, but at least I'm available. I
Please
think just to emphasize on the approach, I think firstly, we should agree whether we agree on shortlisting 4. And then if we agree, my proposal will be the following. The first one would be Professor Sarenda Thakur. I don't know if it's Thakur or it's Thakur. Thakur. That will be my first name. I hope Comrade Tembingozi from the administration is typing. The second one would be Nikos Demetrios Martins. And the third one would be Mutibi Lenvio Ramusi. And then the last one would be Absalom Nkosana Mbokani. These are proposed names from my side, and then let's get other parties to make their proposal. Thanks.
Thank you, Honorable Mlala. I take it that because the principles were not questioned, they were agreed upon. So we'll present that in that way. I now go to Honorable Mazzoni, given the apologies we have received from the other parties. The Honorable Mazzoni, can you hear on your side? And that would want to give you an opportunity to make your presentation.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Chair, as you know, I'm new to the committee, and I have been consulting together with my my co-member, the DA co-member, as well as with my caucus. And the decision that we've taken is that tonight we will abide by the findings of the committee as to the names that we assess to be worthy of standing for interview. And I will feed those names through to my caucus. And if there is a glaring, obvious problem with any of those names, I will then obviously know, and I will be able to bring that back to the committee. But if that is okay with you, Chair, that is how we would like to move forward as the DA.
Thank you, Honorable Mazzoni. I take it that Honorable Mlala, you are able to hear on your side, given the network challenges you talked about. I suspect that we are agreeing that there is agreement on the names. However, the point made is that as the names are discussed, if there's any other matter other than those that have been raised about qualifications, skills that people bring, security vetting that has been done, if there's any matter, that arise, that they reserve the right to raise that as we get to interview the names. But of course, as the committee support would have indicated, once these names are adopted by the committee later this evening, they will then be publicized also for public comments. And we usually also take into account what comes from the public. Like I said, I hope with all the network challenges they're talking about, the committee support has also been able to capture this properly as they prepare the report to the committee. So we have got the 4 names. I think for purposes of proper record, if they were taking the notes, it will be good to flight again the names that have been proposed, as there's not been an alternative put at this point. Mr. Ngoma and Dr. Midubi, I'm not sure was taking the notes, but just for purposes of record, to place the names again.
The person, as the names were read by Mr. Mulala, it's Prof. S. Tandoor, Mr. Dimitri Martins, Mr. Mutibi Ramusi, and Mr. Nkosana Mbokani. I hope I've captured them accordingly. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Mulala?
Yes, I think I'm covered, Chair. Yes, captured them properly.
Okay. I think for purposes of the report, Mr. Ngoma, you would capture the point that yes, whilst the names may have been presented on the other side, have been accepted at this point, the position of the DA was placed on the record, and that we'll see as we go if there's any matter they would want to raise on a particular candidate as part of the public participation process that we are going to engage in after this. I hope you've captured that for purposes of the report that goes to the committee. Okay. With that having been said, honorable members, you'll correct me, Mr. Goma. You've already outlined the process beyond the subcommittee meeting. And from the point of the agenda, if this was the only item, I take it that there may not be other matters except if you want to put an announcement.
Chairperson, I think you've summed it up very well. Chair, we'll use the 2 weeks that is open for public comments also to identify a date immediately after that period closes for the interviews, and that will be communicated to members on time. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Thank you, Mr. Goma. That then, honorable members, concludes the business for the subcommittee that focuses on the appointment process on ICASA. I know that in the next 30 minutes, am I correct, Mr. Ngoma? The next 30 minutes would be logging in members of the other subcommittee. So we'll be convening another subcommittee meeting focusing on a different matter of MTDA.
Yes, Chairperson, you are correct, and members can use the same link to access that meeting. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you. So therefore, the meeting stays adjourned as it has concluded its business. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chair.
Thanks, Chair. Though I'm coming back for another committee.
Recording stopped.